This Cancer full moon is my favorite cosmic activity that we've had in a while because of this opposition that we have with the moon to the new synodic cycle of the Sun, Venus, and Mars. This is such a rare configuration. I think what I could find was something like 1200 years, and it might not happen again until the 23rd century. The details are a bit loose on that, but to have Mercury, the Sun, and Mars conjoin within 1 degree is one of the phenomenal new beginnings that we're coming up to for 2026. This introduction is going to cover more detail about what that really means to have this triple conjunction and the full moon just days before in Cancer. Then check your sign by sign for detail on where and how this could show up in your life. The majority of the transit information will be in the introduction. Timestamps for both, but then timestamps for your sun, moon, and rising if you want to check those. This is based on Western tropical zodiac, and I do whole sign interpretations for my general readings. But when you get a personal reading with me, I look at all of the Hellenistic rules as well as the evolutionary astrology, places that we can go and what to do with the planets. I'm also incorporating internal family systems work and using the archetypes in the natal birth chart to work more at a psychological and emotional evolution way for each of us. So check out my booking link if you would like more on that. Otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out for this video, and let's get into it. A Cancer full moon is highlighting topics of family, nurturing, what we need to feel safe and at home in our lives and in our inner worlds and with other people. Cancer is a deeply intuitive sign, but it is also nurturing and connection-based. Capricorn, on the other side of the axis where the sun is more about the fatherly authority that happens within family structures. It is traditional. It is what has always been done. It is a safe structure to lean on. So in some ways, both Capricorn and Cancer represent safe structures. One is inward and one is outward. Capricorn is about the structures in our society that help us function effectively. Capricorn is also an archetype that rules time management, slowing things down. This new synodic cycle with Venus, Mars, and the Sun is a conditioning aspect that's going to happen under the archetype of Capricorn. I especially love this for our upcoming Saturn and Neptune in Aries visit, because while these planets transit Aries, we're going to be looking at the condition of Mars throughout the zodiac for how these planets are operating. This is something I'm going to focus on a lot throughout the year. This full moon is an inauguration moment for Mars. It's a conditioning of the Sun and Venus in Capricorn that Mars is getting a boost from, which speaks very positively for the regulation that Mars is going to do for Aries in the coming year. What is comforting to me is knowing that Mars is getting this conditioning from Capricorn, which is intentional. It slows things down. It makes sure that our actions and initiation that we do in Mars are coming from a place of strategy and of building towards something that's functional. We have the opportunity here to use a lot of tradition in the things that we would like to take from the past, yet so much new energy for new cycles and making something brand new. An Aries cycle where Neptune and Saturn can have a more erratic energy to it. But there's hope that Mars is getting conditioned under Saturn right now and inaugurated with the Sun and Venus, that it's softening. It's taking some of Venus's yin energy with it on its journey. This triple conjunction is going to be a new cycle for all three and how they blend their energies moving forward in an effective way. And that's up to each of us. So this is a moment where we can really pay attention, especially at this full moon. It's going to highlight we and self and family and productivity and connection and intuition and safety and how to move forward. Whatever started 6 months ago at the Cancer new moon, this is a reassessment check-in point We might have the desire to go more inward and reflect on everything that's happened in the last 6 months. If you do feel called to that, take the opportunity, and it will be that much more impactful for the new cycle that's starting just days after when it comes to this triple conjunction. The exact dates are January 6th, when Venus conjoins the Sun at 16 degrees, January 7th, when Venus conjoins Mars, 18 degrees, January 9th, when the Sun conjoins Mars at 19 degrees, and then all 3 planets are at 19 degrees Capricorn, January 10th. This is not going to be exact, but it will be all at 19 degrees, which is super close. So between this full moon on January 3rd in Cancer and these polarized conjunctions happening January 6th through the 10th, that's a lot of energy. That is a lot of activation. The full moon has potential to bring more clarity on what we need to feel at home, what connection and family and intuition and safety mean to each of us, and how we can move forward with that and create a framework within Capricorn that is going to carry us through with whatever conditions we want to create. That's what Capricorn is really good at. We have the opportunity here to be strategic in our impulses, in our drive to go for what we want in life, and bring in this calculated Venusian energy as well. Love and passion when it comes to Mars and Venus coming together, especially with the Sun. There is an opportunity for a lot of passion, combustion, fun, infatuation, just loving up life. Sometimes in a way that can get carried away, but not in Capricorn. In Capricorn, it is important to take it slow, to have the best of both worlds, to have this spontaneous combustion of passion with Mars, action, drive, motivation, Venus going towards what we want, what is pleasurable in life, but having a plan. There is a lot of commitment to this plan when we're having a conjunction like this in Capricorn. Love and going after pleasure in the world comes with a certain maturity. There's a wisdom in knowing what has already been done, what has worked, what has not worked, and that's going to come up at the full moon. And then we have this beautiful motion coming in January 10th that is going to have us move forward with restraint, with delayed gratification, but the ripe fruit is that much better when we wait. And that's the moment that we're going to be having our eyes on. Capricorn is about long-term vision, long-term goals. It is a bit more about the big picture than just a Mars-Venus conjunction. This moment has a lot of opportunity to change structure for the better, change tradition for the better, change our home life and our ability to feel like we're surrounded by love and family in a different way. Mars and Venus coming together help us take action towards what we want in love, towards what we want to create with earthly pleasures, with art, with beauty. There's a classic quality to Venus in Capricorn where beauty is not extravagant and over the top. It's not fake. It's more in this traditional, classic, clean representation. And it doesn't take away from the possibility of pleasure and joy of Venus. It might put it in a container, but it's a functional container in Capricorn. What we want to be mindful of with energy like this is becoming overly attached to the past, overly rigid in how we give and share love, how we share our assets. There can be a restricted quality with Venus and Mars and the Sun in Capricorn where we feel like we have limits to what we can give and share in the world. There are smart limits, but there is a shadow side where we can be too stingy with expressing ourselves and holding back for the sake of safety. And that is another thing that the Cancer full moon could highlight. Where are we holding back out of safety that's limiting our ability to feel Mars's passion in Capricorn? And Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So Mars is in good condition here, which is another huge benefit. There's a lot of stamina. One of the sentences that came to me was hold no prisoners. Mars is determined, and it has the follow through in Capricorn to go after what it wants. It has the discipline, it has the wisdom to bring this power of initiation and motivation into something that is really valuable. And that's Venus's presence as well. We need to be careful of associating our worth with productivity, withholding love, feeling like love is a responsibility, transactional love. So always calculating. Capricorn can do that. There's an element with Venus in Capricorn of always keeping track of how much you're giving and receiving, and that needing to be a tight calculation. We want to lean more on trusting that what we put in will come back to us naturally. There can also be a withholding and a fear of intimacy with Venus in Capricorn, and that's the protective mechanism. Be aware if those tendencies show up, and give this to the full moon 2-week quality that we have of shedding these old structures of love and motivation. What motivates us for pleasure and love is the most important thing, and that's what we're looking to Mars for. So we don't want to be motivated for love and pleasure by a sense of dominance or authority, which is something to watch for in Capricorn. We want to find that harmonious balance that can exist with Venus. And there's so much potential for this 2-week cycle to shed the old and to bring in the most positive qualities of Mars and Venus in Capricorn because of Mars's good condition in this sign. There's an opportunity for commitment and deep loyalty in the sign of Capricorn. And there's a slow burn that this triple conjunction is taking on in Capricorn. And that's what builds a solid foundation. Capricorn knows that time doesn't really matter here, but what matters is that we follow all of the important steps to build a strong foundation, to build authentic connection, to really merge the yin and yang qualities in each of us and in our connections with other people. As we have more emphasis on the Aries Libra axis with Saturn and Neptune moving in here shortly, and this full moon reminds me of this too, is that it's back to these themes of me and we. How can we improve connection by finding a more balanced approach within us and a more balanced approach of give and take? I would love to hear how this is showing up in your life. It really is so inspiring to hear what's going on in the comments in personal lives. So thank you so much for showing up there and showing up for this video. And now let's get into your sign. Hi, Cancer. This is your full moon, but the emphasis is on partnerships with this axis. The emphasis is still on you, but you're likely realizing something about yourself through partnerships, and this is creating a massive change and new beginning in your partnership house. Unlike a regular full moon, this triple conjunction in your 7th house opposing the full moon gives us a feeling of a new moon very shortly after, an ending, an illumination of self, a culminating point. You have gone through so much growth with Jupiter in your sign. It's really a whole year about you since June of 2025, all the way up until June of 2026. This is a beautiful, healing, expansive quality from Jupiter where you are becoming wise in how you operate and the skills that you have at your disposal, the way that you express yourself in the world. And it looks like right now this is benefiting your partnerships. This triple conjunction of a new cycle with Mars, the Sun, and Venus, these planets rule your 2nd house, your 4th house, your 10th house, and your 11th house. So putting these themes together means that there's a lot going on in partnerships, but it has to do with your authority out in the world, your ability to be a leader in groups, your ability to be a leader for the things that you value. And there's an extra layer of home and internal world and safety and security for you. I think for a lot of Cancers, this looks like you're really balancing your ability to step out, take action and initiation for the things that you want in partnerships because you have a plan. It's methodical. you are taking your time and you know when to hold back with Mars, because Mars doesn't always know when to hold back, but a Cancer does. A Cancer is very good at creating that withdrawal for safety and knowing when you need that with other people. Out of balance, this can mean too much hermiting or not enough going out into the world and expanding yourself. But Jupiter is forcing you to do that this year. Some of you might feel that. Some of you might be more comfortable in that depending on your personal charts. But this is a quality that is forcing a lot of Cancers to be more expansive in their world. Leadership and self-authority is going to be a big focus when Neptune and Saturn move into Aries of your 10th house. I have additional videos linked below if you want to see more on that. But for now, just keep that in the back of your mind when you think about how you connect with other people. Do you feel like there's harmonious work towards the same goal? There's commitment towards a certain way of enjoying life with Venus, spending money, alignment with what you value. This is also the sun being in the 7th house right now is the ruler of your 2nd house, which is your values, your self-worth, your assets. And how does that connect in this new cycle with other people? Communities could be of focus because Venus also rules your 11th house of networks and communities. But this could also just be energetic, where it's about how you network your own energy and align with other people. I think about this triple conjunction as well with the full moon in your sign with co-present with Jupiter as figuring out how to safely expand your energy into your significant one-on-one partnerships, into your community, into your professional life. For you, this is going to be strongly about being clear on what you value and trusting that the people that align with your values are going to show up, and there's not going to be as much of a push and pull in that Mars-Venus yin-yang connection when the goals are similar, when the long-term vision is similar, and when you feel like you have a stable foundation in your relationships, which is Capricorn for you, then your leadership within relationships shows up differently. When there's wisdom in how you take your leadership and authority out into the world, you don't have to force anyone into that. It's like they magnetize to your leadership. For a lot of Cancers, this is a wisdom that you have earned with Pluto having gone through your Capricorn sign since 2008. I have an additional video on that too that I did with Julianne of Bright Star Astrology, and we went through Capricorn through all the houses and what that means. So if you want more information on that, I think that'll be really relevant for this Capricorn season that you're going through and this triple conjunction. But I think you can count on commitment in a healthy way from others. And you have a sense of endurance within these partnerships that is not a burden anymore. It's an endurance that you want. It's a commitment at a safe place that is so good for Cancers. So I really like seeing this energy for you. Happy full moon to you. I think you are going to be really happy with what shows up in your partnerships. It always depends on individual charts. This is also a bit of a waiting game with a new cycle like this starting in Capricorn. Wait until February, March, when more of the energy starts to kick up in astrology and you're going to see more of the manifestations. This is the seed being planted in your partnerships. This is consistency, commitment, alignment of values, and enough passion and spark to really go the long haul. I would love to hear how this is showing up for Cancers. Let me know in the comments if you feel called to chat there. And otherwise, I hope you've had a wonderful turn into the new year of 2026. And I will see you next time. Leo, this is a 12th house full moon for you. So this is about dissolving, endings. This could be more about endings and beginnings for you, even though this full moon, I'm feeling a lot of beginning energy in the Capricorn part of everyone's chart because of the triple conjunction. So that's going to be for you with 6th house related matters, which is health, habits, routines, work, your day-to-day life. There's a new system that's kicking off. This is wonderful for New Year's resolutions for Leos out there. The 12th house full moon can be endings, but it can be an illumination of bigger energy and bigger things at play. You might be tapping into some intuitive ability and psychic ability, or something that wasn't seen before that helps you kick off new routines and new ways of operating in your day-to-day life. New work stuff could come up. The triple conjunction activates your 3rd house, your 9th house, your 10th house, and your solar energy, your vitality. The sun rules Leo, and the sun being in Capricorn right now can give you a sense of wanting to follow through on your responsibilities. But there's more pleasure in it at a cycle like this. When Venus is involved, your responsibilities align with what you value. You have motivation and initiation with Mars that's calculated and ready for business. It's ready for action. So you're feeling really good about whatever changes you're making in your daily life and daily habits. Any work changes are going to pay off with your visibility and reputation because of Venus ruling your 10th house. You're feeling motivated to get your beliefs and perspectives out there with Mars ruling your 9th house. This is about being seen with these 2 houses for the way you view the world, the way you think about the world, and the wisdom that you have put together from the experiences that you've had so far. With the 3rd house being activated alongside, this is about effective communication through all of this. So I really like what's happening here for Leos. This is great energy to transform anything you want in your daily routine, really. Whether it's health or work, you're going to be more seen for who you really are. You have an opportunity here to feel more vibrant every day in your daily life. And it feeds so many other parts of your chart. That vibrancy and that health from the routines and the work that you're doing is going to show up over and over again all year. This could be a new relationship cycle for everyone or anyone because of Mars and Venus coming together. And if that's the case, it's going to be a relationship that adds vitality and vibrancy to your day-to-day life. It could be someone that you meet with health routines or at work. And it could come as a surprise. It could be something that could be the hidden element, that something you didn't see coming is illuminated. And with Jupiter in your 12th house co-present with this full moon, it has the opportunity to expand your spiritual connection and your spiritual awareness of energy and whatever else that means to you. This Cancer full moon at 13 degrees is also at a lovely angle to the nodes for you in your 2nd and 8th house. So this could be extra beneficial for assets, values, shared resources, your own self-worth. If this is work or health connected, all of these areas could benefit as well. There's a bit more of a lean towards how this benefits your shared resources with other people. Overall, Leo, this is a wonderful time to start any new intention with how you manage your day-to-day routines, your health habits, the things that are beneficial habits and not so beneficial habits. Where is your intuition, meditation, your ability to rest? That's a full moon in your 12th house too. So you want to think about how you recharge, how you rejuvenate, how you manage your own personal energy and the energy that you connect to in the world. That's also a 2nd and 8th house axis layer, is that you want to merge your energy with other people with the North Node in the 8th house in a way that doesn't burn you out, in a way that you get back what you need, that you get seen for the vibrant Leo that you are. And that's where this triple conjunction with Mars, Venus, and the Sun affecting your 9th and 10th house is really going to shine. So even if you don't see it right now, this is a seed planting moment where your visibility is going to start to change, your ability to be seen for your perspectives, your view on the world, your wisdom and knowledge that you have to share with others is also elevated. For those of you that are in teaching or public leadership work in any way, this is a great boost in harmonizing and balancing the way that you assert yourself, your Mars energy, and doing it from a place that listens to others, which is Venus, and also creates pleasure for everyone involved, especially if this is in the workplace. So if you have employees or your coworkers, people you need to get along with on a day-to-day practical way, this is teamwork. This is really coming together for shared causes. And it looks like a lot of Leos are stepping into a leadership position in this. So whether it's health or work related or anything else, you have a lot of autonomy right now and a lot of ability to shift into the initiation of this, whatever it is, and follow through with commitment, tenacity, and discipline, and all of the things that create more gratification later on, that build towards something long term and give you huge benefits that might not be in the moment, but it's going to be so worth it. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you, Leo. Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like a one-on-one reading with me, check out my booking link in the description. But for now, have a wonderful start to 2026. I'm so excited that we are finally crossing this threshold into another astrology year of big, big beginnings. More of these videos all along the way. Thank you for being here for this one, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Virgo. This is an 11th house full moon for you. So this is all about your connections, your community, your audience, the people that you align with that have similar vibration to you. The 11th house can magnetize people that we need in our lives for learning, for growth, or that have a shared vision, a shared goal that can help us along our path, or both. Sometimes it's friction that helps us along our path. Sometimes it's ease, but we get what we need in this house of people alongside you in this journey of life. With Jupiter here, you have an opportunity to be really expanding the connections and community that you have. Jupiter retrograde, though, could be having you more focused on the internal energetic reworking that you want to do to align yourself with the right people that have the same vibration, the same frequency. It's really about the internal feeling that aligns us to people, not necessarily what we're doing on the outside. Sometimes there's a very practical side to this house as well. So we do actually meet people in communities that are aligned with what we do, like yoga or going to the market or, those sort of shared things. Yet what really matters when it comes to the energy is deeper than that. And then the 5th house, this is where all of the new beginning is happening. This is your dating life, your creative self-expression, your children. This is an area of life where you are illuminated and bursting with what is really authentically you. I love this cycle for Virgos. This is connecting your 8th house and your 9th house, as well as your 2nd house into the 5th house energy. So those parts of your life represent what you value, how you see yourself as worthy, what you see that you have to offer the world, the emotional, psychological transformation that you have been working on and doing. And that is an Aries ruled sign for you in the 8th house. So that's more of a self-motivated and initiated role that you've been taking on to transform yourself at a psychological level. And then the 9th house, which is where you're putting wisdom out into the world, where you're creating purpose in your life. So your creative self-expression now has purpose, it has value, and it has a psychological element that's going to be really helpful for you and for other people probably. I expect that this has to do with the communities you're a part of or your audience or whatever that is. The 5th house can have to do with dating, and a Mars-Venus conjunction can be divine, masculine, and feminine energies coming together in a relationship kind of way. You do have other people highlighted in this with your 11th house, so you could be networking through friends and community, and that brings a partnership into your life that ignites more creative flow for you. The 5th house, when it comes to relationships, is more about the dating process. For you, having Capricorn here, you can have more long-term dating people, or if they're friends in this connection, it's that initial spark when you see the light in another person that matches yours, and it brings forth more of a creative burst in your own system that for you is at this moment is going to be about increasing your value with the second house activation, or just aligning with other creative people that help keep this self-expression going for you, and in a balanced way. So you now have Mars here that is able to take more action from a place that is enjoyable and pleasurable, and not just filled with duty and responsibility, which Capricorn in the 5th house can feel like. So you want to lean on your 2nd house and 9th house for these Venus topics, which is that of yourself that you value and the wisdom that you have, really trusting the worth in your wisdom, trusting the alignment with others and creative projects that really matter to you, or with your children. If this is about children, you have more wisdom in your parenting at this moment, and you might be starting a new cycle with how you parent and how you have more fun with your children. Having fun in a responsible way is also a Venus solar conjunction in Capricorn in the 5th house. And being calculated with your impulses with Mars alongside here as well. You could be breaking free of any limitations that you've had to feeling like you can truly express yourself. And I think that the breaking free is coming from feeling more calculated in this process in a certain way. So you're not breaking free in a way that is completely erratic and doesn't have purpose. This Capricorn 5th house part of your chart is going to keep you in check with what really matters to you when you have fun. Is there a bigger picture? Is there a long-term goal to your creative self-expression in any way as well? You could take on new hobbies with its triple conjunction in your 5th house. And this could be something that helps expand your social circle since the full moon's happening in your 11th house. The other thing with a full moon in the 11th house of Cancer is that there could be an ending to connections and community that you once felt were family, because your definitions of family are changing. Your definitions of what feels safe and secure are changing. And it doesn't mean that everything in the physical world has to change, or even anything. It could be more energetic for some people too, that you're finding a different sense of safety in yourself. And that's allowing you to connect better with people, to connect more with people, and to find shared joy with this triple conjunction in your 5th house. I do see the potential for connections within partnership to show up for some Virgos, with the North Node being activated by this full moon. The North Node and South Node are getting trine and sextile, which are easy energies, but the North Node, just in general in your 7th house, means that there's a focus on other. There's a focus on partnerships and what matters to you with partnerships, what you want to adjust about yourself, or what you naturally have to offer that's an innate, natural born gift that you can show up with in your partnerships to make those more enjoyable. I haven't been talking about Mercury in any of the other signs yet, but Mercury is your ruler, and it's also co-present with this triple conjunction in Capricorn. So you yourself could be feeling more motivated, more inspired for a new creative cycle. There's an opportunity here for a whole new you to feel free and emerge, but there again is a long-term goal. It's not just a spontaneous willy-nilly thing. It is something that you've been calculating and thinking about, and now is the beginning of this new cycle for your creative work. But you let me know, Virgo. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you in the comments below. It really helps fuel my creative work here, and it's so very appreciated. And if you would like more with a one-on-one session with me, check out my booking link in the description below. But have a wonderful start to 2026. I hope you're having a wonderful time, whatever is going on, and I will see you next time. Hi, Libra. This is a 10th house full moon for you. This is all about your authority out in the world, your public reputation, your status, Jupiter is here also bringing wonderful blessings. It looks to me like you're feeling more comfortable out in the world. There's a sense of security with being seen and stepping into an authority that feels nurturing for everyone involved. That's a big part of this full moon in Cancer in your 10th house. The 10th house is about how we use the structures that already exist in our lives and also work within an inner authority that aligns the best way that we can. This can sometimes cause friction, but with Cancer being your 10th house, you know how to keep this soft and a nurturing experience for everyone involved. The new beginning part of all of this is your 4th house, where this triple conjunction is taking place with Mars, the Sun, and Venus. This is about you, your 8th house, and your 11th house. Venus is your ruler, and so this is an exciting new beginning for you where you feel more motivated, more inspired for your long-term goals and plans. You're feeling really confident with how things can take time, yet there's motivation and inspiration to stick with it, to commit to whatever it is that you want with home and family, and follow it through. You're following the rules of our lives and our world that already exist, yet you're able to put in this Venusian flair because that's you. You're ruled by Venus, and it means that you have a diplomatic, gentle approach to life. You do enjoy the pleasures of the world like Taurus. Taurus is your 8th house, so Venus is ruling both you and your 8th house. This could include transformation, psychological changes that are bringing you an ability to have more joy and pleasure in your home life and in your inner worlds. There could be an element of changing your internal family systems, the family that you came from, your family of origin, your actual home. It's this reprocessing that's happening at an internal level, though, even if it's manifesting in home-related stuff or your family lineage. There's a real opportunity to change where you've come from and what you want to create for your home life and inner world. It is going to come with psychological work, psychological transformation. It's going to come with changing who you are as a person as far as the skills and the way that you put yourself out in the world. And it's going to come with changing groups and networks and your allies and the people that support you in this life. It might not come all at once. This is a moment where you're first shifting your leadership at this full moon, shifting something to do with career, shifting your visibility in the world in some way. It's a great time for presentation if you are in the public eye in that way, just as a side note. But think about that. What's ending with how you manifest your inner authority, how you show up in the world, what's coming to fruition with those topics, and then how is that affecting your home life? How is that changing your inner world, and how is that different than how you were raised? If this has to do with relationships, you could be meeting someone at home. This could be a gathering this time of year where you're gathering with friends or family, or you're having people over to your house and new people show up that have a significant role in the journey moving forward for you. You might be welcoming someone new into your family. Regardless of how this shows up in a practical, physical sense, this is a new moment of integrating motivation and pleasure in home life. This is a wonderful time for redecorating. You could be feeling motivated to renovate your home. And it's going to be in a place that harmonizes and balances in a way that you have been leveling up to. And that's the thing with Libra, is that harmony and balance and beauty and aesthetics and tone and making the world a pleasurable place is part of what you do through the more air element, through mental communication ways. But it's also energetic. And having a home that reflects that is an important step in reflecting that internal energetic change that you've been going through. This full moon being on your 4th and 10th house axis also means that it's squaring your 1st and 7th house axis. So depending on which planets you have or activation points, regardless, when it's on angles like this, on the quadrants, it has extra potency. So those of you who have points around 13 degrees, give or take 5 to 10 degrees on each side, that's going to just shift the potency of how this shows up. But either way, this is an extra potent energy for Libras out there. And I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see you start the year with such a profound opportunity for change and new beginnings. And how wonderful to feel a sense of motivation for home and family and connection. And not only motivation for those things, but to some of you to be really visible out in the world for that. Given that this is a 10th house full moon and this could change your status, this could mean that some of you are getting married, getting into more committed relationships, and that's changing your home life. That's creating a whole new cycle there. That's going to be a small few of you, but worth mentioning. For all Libras out there, there is a long-term change that is brewing and kicking off right now in your home, and it's going to help you feel stable, secure. You're going to have long-term goals for your home life. And I think that that's going to feel really good for a lot of Libras. But I would love to hear from you and let me know in the comments how this is showing up in your life. It really is so much fun for me to have some real life engagement on these videos. So thank you for that. And thank you for just being here for this video. Have a wonderful full moon and a wonderful kickoff to 2026. I will be with you all along the way with more posts about astrology insights and astrology energy that's coming at us. I'll see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This is a 9th house full moon for you. So this is about your vision of the world, your beliefs, your bigger purpose in life. What is it that you're working towards? What is it that you have embodied in wisdom that you are now carrying forth into a new way of communicating? Because the axis being activated for you is the 9th house, but on the other side, you have the 3rd house where this triple conjunction is happening. I haven't been talking about it with all signs, but Mercury is also co-present here. And that's relevant for you because Mercury is the classic ruler of the 3rd house. It represents communication, our mind, how we use our mind as a tool. And when you have this new activation in Capricorn with Mars, the Sun, and Venus, you're taking on a whole new way of using your mind and using your words and your communication in a practical way, but yet there's a flare of more pleasure, a softening of your words as you relate to others in a more effective way. There's also motivation, and at this time, while Mars is here, you could have a lot of efficiency in your communication. So it's a wonderful time if you do have to write anything or have difficult conversations. This could be the beginning of approaching crucial conversations in a different way. There's a lot of opportunity for tact and long-term vision in your style of communication. And it's going to be functional in a way that other people can understand it really well and make something constructive out of it themselves. Speaking of constructive, this is also a constructive use of your mental daily activity. This is an energy where you could be creating new limitations and structures to the information that you take in so that the way that you're operating with your mind on a day-to-day basis feels good for you. That's the Venusian part. We need our minds to work for us and to feel good and to be fueling us and other people with feel good, pleasurable energy, yet be productive and systematic and really functional in Capricorn. So prior to this triple conjunction and new cycle in your 3rd house, there might have been a tendency to lean more on the Capricorn function, which is just getting things done, being methodical and getting ahead. But there's a rigidity and a coldness to Capricorn that this new synodic cycle with Venus has the opportunity to soften. Venus is about taking into consideration what other people need and feel, as well as our own with this Mars-Venus conjunction. That's the yin and yang opportunity for harmony here. Whatever it is that's adding pleasure to your mind and communication is going to be a long-term thing. It's going to stick for a while when it's in the sign of Capricorn. It's going to be beneficial, and it's going to merge really well with productivity. It's also an energy of getting ahead, getting to where you want to go, having an authority in your way of communication that is gentle and congruent with other people receiving it, so that you're magnetizing people to your thoughts and communication in a way that is welcoming and easy, not overly assertive and dictator type energy. The beautiful balance here is with the moon and Jupiter in your ninth house. All of this comes from a place of illumination of wisdom and purpose and the bigger picture of the world. This isn't just communication for the sake of chit chat and keeping a busy mind. I think it's quite the opposite. It's going to be refining your mental capacity and use to be more constructive and to be less busy, to have room to fill your mind with more pleasure, more joy, more connection, more romance, more art, more beauty. If you're a writer, this is wonderful energy to create a beautiful piece of art with your writing. Same thing with if you're in media of any kind. For you, there has been so much emphasis on your fifth house of creative self-expression, and I've been talking about it in almost every single video. And this full moon also activates that nodal axis of the north node in your fifth house. A little further away, but also still the final transit of Saturn and Neptune in your fifth house. And Saturn is the ruler of your third house of communication. So a lot of Scorpios do have creative self-expression going on in either actual ways that you're getting a creative project off the ground, or you're just enjoying that more for yourself. And this is a moment where you feel like there's purpose to it all. It has the opportunity to move in a really good direction, or this is the birthing of something in creative writing, in writing or media, or mental work, communication work of any kind. Perhaps you've just been brewing an idea in your creative self-expression, and this full moon and new cycle with the triple conjunction helps it really take off, especially for those of you that are in the teaching role of any kind. This could be teaching or a teacher coming to an end or coming into your life, reaching a new threshold, reaching a new level of importance or graduation. So that's where a teacher could be leaving if you're graduating from something. You could be becoming a teacher. A new teacher could show up because you're ready for something. And teachers don't always come in an actual teacher. Sometimes we don't realize the teachers that come into our lives as just regular people until we've learned a certain amount from them and look back over the course of our lives and realize that that person had a significant influence on how we view the world, how we think about the world, how we think about the big picture, and how we experience life from a physical way that interprets our experiences into wisdom. For me, it's even been some of the relationships and connections that were the most challenging, that changed my perspective on life in a really positive way. We just don't know how it's always showing up. So keep that in mind. A full moon can be a time of endings, but this is also a big new beginning in your third house with this triple conjunction. It's a new cycle that's going to take 2 or 3 years to really unfold. We do have to wait to see the full manifestation of it, but I love this initiation moment and the way that we're kicking off 2026. I hope that it's going really well for you so far and that you've had a wonderful end of 2025 season. Thank you so much for being here and checking out this video and chatting with me in the comments if you feel called to. It really brings this whole process to life for me, so thank you so much. If you would like to book a one-on-one reading, I will link my booking site in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Sag. This is an 8th house full moon for you. So this is a breakthrough moment for a lot of Sagittarians in your psychological transformation. The 8th house can be about endings, so more of you could feel that type of energy. Yet, The triple conjunction is happening for you in the opposing second house, which is an exciting new beginning. It's going to have more to do with your self-worth, your values, what you value about life, about your assets, where you put your energy, how you nourish your body, the foods that you eat, the pleasure you derive from this earthly experience. There's a plan in place now. There's a system that's filled with more love with Venus here, more romance, more self-love, more enjoyable, healthy foods potentially. There's a motivation to align with your values, though, overall with Mars here. And with Capricorn being the ruler of your second house, you have the consistency, the discipline, the big picture, the inner authority, and all of the ingredients you need to carry forth whatever it is you want in this part of your life. I do think that it's coming from this psychological breakthrough that you've had. Jupiter co-present with the moon here is a wonderfully healing, expansive energy, but what it can do is it can expand the psychological disturbances first, which is, it's beneficial overall, but it's, as a personal experience, it's never great to go through. It feels yucky to do 8th house work, for lack of a better word. It can feel like a part of us is dying. It can feel like we're facing parts of ourselves that make us wish we didn't have to, that make us, the resistance here can be so heavy that we don't even want to exist if existing means we have to deal with this part of our lives. It's not going to be like that for everyone. Sagittarians are an optimistic, jovial, I would think Santa Claus was a Sagittarius. So this is overall very positive, fun energy to have as sun, moon, ascendant, whatever it is for you. So Jupiter co-present in the 8th house, it's also your ruler. And that could emphasize the need to psychologically transform even more. The golden part of the 8th house, though, is that it makes room for more intimacy, more deep bonding with another person. It is this psychological work that we do to build really close connections. It's shared resources. It's shared energy. It's true merging. When I talk about the 7th house of partnerships, that's the practical part of partnerships. It's getting together with someone that's long-term. It's signing a contract. It is not the energetic work that's involved in making a rich connection. That's the 8th house. And that's what you have going on in this full moon. As a result, you're going to feel more nurtured by yourself and by other people. And it's going to come more naturally when you have energy lighting up this axis. It looks like it's coming because you are starting a whole new cycle of taking action towards what really matters to you. That's Mars in this triple conjunction in your second house of Capricorn. You're going for it. You have tenacity. You're not holding back anymore. You're realizing that what really matters to you requires action and follow through. And that's the way to get more Venusian, pleasurable stuff out of our lives. There's also this element of delayed gratification and following the system that has been in place to a certain degree. But this energy speaks to creating a whole new system, using the traditions of what we think are still good, what we value, what bring good things, and with a full moon on this axis, dismantling the systems that are not helpful anymore. So you have the ability to think really critically here, and Mercury being co-present in Capricorn allows that too. There's a cognitive influence where you're making sense of what you've been through in the 8th house. This illumination moment of the full moon in your 8th house is helping you see and feel what's been going on. But Mercury in your second house is showing you what to do with it. It's showing you that if you put your energy into something constructive, you have the power to create something different in the intimacy, psychological 8th house transformational part of your chart. when it comes to the ways this can show up in our lives, it's always radically different depending on each person's life and each person's personal chart. With this reading, put together those pieces for yourself in certain ways of what it is about your values and your ability to connect deeply with yourself and with other people that's showing up right now, and how you're moving forward, or with this triple conjunction, at least the intention for moving forward in a new cycle, a new 2 to 3 year cycle. You also have your 9th house, your 11th house, and your 6th house lit up with these Mars and Venus rule parts of your chart, and the Sun rules your 9th house, Leo. So there are elements of your wisdom, having teachers or being a teacher yourself, the connections that you have in the world, the networks and communities you're a part of, the allies that support you, and the work that you do on a day-to-day basis, the service to yourself, to your health, to your habits that are a part of this new cycle in what you value as well. You're refining an intention around your values and what you eat, how you nourish yourself energetically and physically, with routine, with systems in place, with a community that's supportive, that has shared values with you, and with wisdom and intention from your past experiences that's fueling this. And that's the 9th house where the Sun rules for you, which is Leo, but by classic position, that's a Sagittarius placement. So that's you. You naturally embody this ability to gather knowledge and make sense of it in a way that has purpose and direction. And it's knowledge that is experienced. So it can be knowledge that you're gathering from other people and from studies, but more often it's something that you have felt yourself and that you've gone through. That's the wisdom that gets deeply embedded at a soul level. It's not reading books. That comes in and out each incarnation, and we learn different things every time we incarnate based on the knowledge of that time and that period. But the Sagittarius wisdom from experience, that gets embedded and imprinted in us. So that's wisdom we get to keep. So that makes this house extra important. It makes the experiences that you're going through right now with this solar triple conjunction that much more relevant for your internal energetic wisdom of the work that you do in this world and the things that you experience. It's not just for fun or for torture. It's for something bigger that creates a new version of ourselves every year that goes by in life. And that version gets to stay and take hold in some way, in a level of maturity that has an internal compass. So you're not leaning on other people's knowledge. You have that permanently for yourself. So this is a wonderful new beginning for how much you value that wise soul that you've been working on. There's a reason for the experiences. There's a reason for the routines and the habits. There's a reason for taking in certain energy and foods and aligning with energy that really matters to you. And you're feeling that right now. This is great energy for New Year's resolutions and shifting your values and your mindset maybe around things. You're going to align with people that share these values. So do get really clear on a set of values that you want to take into 2026. It could be like a mantra or just something you keep checking back on and making sure that that's what's guiding your intention for whatever you're doing this year. And it's not based on anything else. But you let me know, Sag. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you. There could be so many different ways that this plays out, and it's so much fun hearing the individual experiences in the comments below. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful full moon and kickoff to 2026. I'm so looking forward to chatting about the astrology of this year all along the way, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, Capricorn. This is a partnership full moon for you. So this is all about your relationship to other people. There could be endings at full moons. There could be a new level of commitment being reached. And really this energy is about a new beginning for you, because this very rare triple conjunction with Mars, the Sun, and Venus is happening in your sign. Co-present with Mercury, this is a huge new cycle for how you operate in the world. This can affect changes with your body. This can bring more pleasure to the lives of Capricorns. This is an energy with Venus here where you can take action towards the things that bring you earthly, pleasurable experiences. This is wonderful energy for any beauty things that you want to take care of with your self-image. Venus in your sign is great for getting new clothes, haircuts. With Mars here, there can be severing or an abrupt change to how you operate in the world. But this, with co-present with Venus and the Sun, is exciting for vitality and overall feeling good about life. Venus is the ruler of your 10th house and your 5th house. So there could be elements of visibility, status change, changes with your children, changes with your creative self-expression and your ability to play and have fun. The solar part of this conjunction is activating your 8th house, which is psychological transformation, merging more deeply and intimately with other people. This is a rebirth house, so big energetic transformations. And even though sometimes the energetic transformations in the 8th house can come with a level of heaviness, there's a releasing here that's happening that is allowing you to have more joy in your life. You're kicking off this new Venus cycle that is about experiencing the earthly pleasures in life. As a Capricorn, that can be harder to access sometimes, and there's a sense of duty and responsibility, even with Venus in Capricorn, that can sometimes override the ability to see the joy and pleasure and deliciousness that the world can offer. Venus rules fruit and chocolate and sweet things and the things that give happy chemicals to the brain that we enjoy food-wise. It also rules art. So there's an opportunity for changing your action with Mars so that you're leaning into some of the things that give you more joy and pleasure, because we are designed to do work here on Earth, to psychologically transform, which can be hard. We're here to work, we're here to build, we're here to create and to evolve, and that comes with hard work sometimes. No one knows that more than a Capricorn. But it's not exclusive of joy. It's not exclusive of pleasure. They are meant to coexist, and that's what a Mars-Venus conjunction in your first house is doing. It's bringing that yin and yang energy into a new harmony where you have balance in the energy that you give out and the energy that you take in. Jupiter is co-present with the moon in your 7th house. So in the case that some people have relationships that are dissolving, I do see Jupiter here as healing and expanding overall. You have Jupiter still until June of 2026. And if anything needs to shift, it means that it's making room for more. And with Capricorns, there's an opportunity for a lot of different types of partnerships to show up. This could be long-term friends. This could be romantic partners, business partners. But with Cancer as the ruler of your 7th house, there's an element of home, of nurturing, of softness, and of coming together with important people in your life because they offer a sense of safety. So anything that doesn't fit this is going to shift. It doesn't have to mean that someone necessarily leaves, but there's a shift. There's a new level being reached when you have a full moon here. What was going on in June of 2025 that kicked off this cycle of starting to investigate what it means to feel safe and secure in your partnerships. And that ultimately helps create more pleasure as well. This can be good energy for work and career visibility, for authority. Venus is the ruler of your 10th house, but the 10th house is also by classic position a Capricorn house. So there's more alignment here for you on topics of how you reorganize your assertiveness in life. And that's the triple conjunction in your first house too. It's how do you carry forward the qualities that you bring into this world? And that's what the 10th house does as well. It's just more the physical out in the world, authority with other people, career, jobs, visibility, status that shows up in a practical sense. There is some overlap for these themes for you. So I wanted to bring it back to that topic and think about what you can do moving forward that creates an authentic authority that makes others magnetize towards your leadership and not forcefully. With Mars and Venus conjunctions, there's always a new opportunity for this harmonious connection of action and receptivity. And Capricorn is all about that. It wants what's going to work for the long haul. Even though Capricorn is the star of the zodiac when it comes to hard work, it doesn't necessarily love hard work. If those things could come more easily to us and be magnetized to us, a Capricorn is happy to keep the system in check and keep that functional and working, but maybe a little less in the hard work line of things. Your ruler, Saturn, is still in a bit of a fog in Neptune, so you do have to wait a little bit longer before you feel the real fire. February 13th, you will have your ruler, Saturn, move into Aries, and that's when the fog is going to clear up a little bit, and you're going to be feeling more of that Mars spark and motivation and drive and energy come back into your life. So hang in there a little bit longer, but this full moon triple conjunction moment in your sign is still a big new beginning. I would love to hear how this is showing up for Capricorns. Let me know in the comments below if you feel called to. It's really fun to have this real life connection to what's happening. But thank you for being here and checking out this video. And if you would like to connect with me one-on-one for a Zoom call, check out my booking link in the description below. Have a wonderful full moon and entry into 2026. I look forward to chatting with you more about it all along the way. I'll see you next time. Hi, Aquarius. This is a 6th house full moon for you. So the axis of 6th and 12th house is lit up. The 6th house is about your habits, your daily routines, the work that you do every day. This can connect to coworkers or employees if you have them. But this is about mundane service in life, the service that we do for ourselves and for others. When you have a Cancer full moon here, this is going to have an element of service that is nurturing to your life. What is it in life that makes you feel safe, secure, makes you feel at home? These are the topics that are going to get woven into your daily activities. This is great for New Year's resolutions. If there's a habit that you want to change or let go of, this full moon could be the end for that. Great support with Jupiter co-present here as well, and Jupiter retrograde, because that means that it's more of an internal healing process. If there are habits or routines in life that you're trying to change, the ease is going to come through nurturing this shift in your life. It's not going to come through force. It's going to come through a loving expansion with Jupiter here. It's going to come from applying wisdom and knowledge that you have when it comes to your health, when it comes to work, and then applying an intuitive mothering nature to the changes that you're trying to make. Especially intuitive, because on the other side of this full moon is the Sun, Mars, and Venus triple conjunction. This new beginning that's happening in your 12th house is about your energetic process around your whole life. How do you rest? How do you take a time out? How do you meditate? You could have followed old traditional structures in this part of your life, especially when it comes to how your father figures raised you in life. These can be any people that come into your life, but that play this type of role. And I say that because this is a Capricorn ruled part of your life. So you have taken tradition pretty seriously when it comes to how you operate with 12th house matters. And this is about understanding the energy of this world as a cosmic place, as a magical place, as a place where everything is connected, all as one source energy. This is why this part of the chart rules rest and sleep, because when we're sleeping, we are more connected to that state than in our waking life when we're focused on the physical, earthly world that we live in. This new cycle here is also ninth, fourth, and seventh house rulers that are all connecting. Your seventh house is partnership. Your ninth house is your greater wisdom and perspective and beliefs of the world. And your fourth house is home and family. The fourth house can also represent mother, so there can be an influence of the wisdom that you've received from your mother and father around how the world works and how the world works, especially at an energetic level. The intuitive tools are what is feeding your new habits in life. It's knowing that rest is not a waste of time. This is an interesting dichotomy with have Capricorn in the 12th house. It's as if rest is your job. As Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, maybe you already intuitively get this, that you do have a bird's eye perspective of what the world is. You have an observer mind. Uranus is the ruler of your sign, Aquarius. One of the Uranus mythologies is about how Uranus and Gaia, Mother Earth as Gaia and Uranus as the god of the cosmos, were the first two godlike mythology forms to exist. They were the core of everything. And Uranus was so against the physical manifestation of Gaia that he tried to push the other planets she was birthing back into her and resisted this change. It was then Saturn, who was one of these children, that came back and revolted against the god Uranus. And in killing Uranus, this is what created the cosmic interwoven system that we relate to now. I feel like this tale of Uranus and Gaia is a good representation of the balance that needs to occur with the cosmic energy and the earthly energy. One is not without the other, but there can be resistance. There can be resistance to the practicalities, that Capricorn part, and you might want to dissociate at times from the responsibility that life requires. Yet, it's responsibility that we're going to be seeing in this triple conjunction in Capricorn that really pays off in the long run. It's what allows us to have more pleasure, more joy when we get the practical things in life done that we're committed to. And commitment is another important piece. This could be committing to a spiritual, energetic process for you. This could be committing to more rest, committing to using your intuition in a different way when it comes to your work and habits and daily routines and the systems in life that you have in place that keep your life functioning really well. When we resist this more earthly part of our charts with the 6th house, we can spend too much time in the cosmic soup and not have that healthy balance of both. Whether it's through partnerships, your home life, or your higher wisdom that you have accumulated from however many years you've been on this earth, it's those 3 areas of life that are starting a brand new cycle in your 12th house. And that is the opportunity right now. Take some time to reflect on what it is that you have learned in life about what really matters to you, your beliefs, your perspectives. Maybe a new intuitive teacher or guide is coming to you. Maybe something that was unseen comes to light, and that could show up in your daily activities, in your work life, in your routines and habits. Maybe there's something that you didn't see about how those systems are working that you are now taking a new approach to. With Mercury in your 12th house of Capricorn at the moment, co-present with this triple conjunction, communication can be a bit more challenging. So go easy on yourself and others if there is some fog and lack of clarity. Your own ability to process the way you usually do could feel off. So wait another month for when Venus is in your sign, and that will shift. You'll be feeling back to your sharp self. But I figured that was worth a heads up in case it's purposeful when Mercury goes into the fog of the 12th house, in that we sometimes discover more when we're trying to sort through something that's not very clear. So take time to do that if these things come up. Overall, though, Aquarius, this is wonderful energy to start the new year. Something could completely shift when it comes to work and your routines and your habits. It's an opportunity to reach a whole new level or to let something go completely. And as a result, you're going to be finding that your motivation for rest and intuitive connection is going to be stronger. It can show up in so many ways, though, and I would love to hear how this is going in your life. I hope you're having a wonderful transition into 2026. It's so much fun chatting with you in the comments. If you feel called to that, it really helps this process come alive for me. So thank you. Thank you for being here. If you would like to connect for a one-on-one reading, my booking link for Zoom calls is in the description below. But thanks for hanging out here. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Pisces. This is a 5th house full moon, so this is all about fun, play, joy, creativity, your hobbies, your creative self-expression, your children. What is it that brings you fun in life? There is likely an aspect of nurturing, of potentially influence from your mother as far as how you creatively express yourself, and whether that has been helpful or hindering, this is a moment where you can shift another layer and feel more authentically you. Connect with people through your art, through your hobbies, in a way that nurtures your fun, in a way that feels soothing to you and that feels safe. On the other side of this axis of the full moon, you have your 11th house triple conjunction. This is a brand new cycle when it comes to your connections, your community. It's really important to have alignment with your creative self-expression and the people that you surround yourself in life with. This is a time where new people could come into your life, new communities, new networks. And maybe this is helping you see that the way that you've been expressing yourself there's room for more authenticity. You're bringing in connections that match your new level of authentic expression. You're feeling free to be yourself, and that's attracting new people into your life. And even if it's not this moment, it will unfold over the next 2 or 3 years. So this is a bigger cycle that's starting, but it has the promise of so much vitality with the sun. And the sun is the figure that represents 5th house topic. It's the ruler of Leo, which is the classic archetype for the 5th house. It means having a vibrant expression of yourself, being seen for who you really are, and enjoying that process. And for that, you likely have to have the right people along for the ride with you. The 8th house, the 3rd house, and the 6th house are the houses that this triple conjunction rules. So psychological transformation is part of this. This is about your daily activities, and this is about your communication. Your communication by nature with Taurus here is pretty solid. Your motivation is to communicate about things that are of value to you. But when we go through big psychological transformations and we're finding a new balance in our energy of give and take with other people in the 8th house, this could even be financial, how you merge resources or energy or intimacy with others. There's a layer here that's helping you change your day-to-day functions, and this is what's feeding into those 11th house new beginnings for you. With these 11th house new beginnings, in Capricorn, if you have been feeling like your communities are too rigid or too structured or outdated, this is a time where you could break through some of the old ways of doing things with the existing people that you're connected to and transform that into a way that matches where you're at right now. With the 3rd house being part of this triple conjunction for you, it could mean that communication is an important element, that it's good for you to express what you really need to have more freedom to be yourself. And that could be one of the ingredients to removing any blockages to the connections that you want to create in your life. And I talk about blockages here because Capricorn can create resistance and slowing down, and sometimes an avoidance or a reluctancy to connect with other people. For a lot of Pisces people, this could be a time where some of the resistance that you used to feel starts to dissolve, and you start to feel that you have more agency to initiate what you want with pleasure and communities. And that agency is the Mars in Capricorn element. Pleasure with Venus here. There is a long-term commitment to creating pleasure with community, but you seem to be in charge of this at the moment and also motivated by it. You want to initiate this. You're seeing the path forward more clearly. You're seeing that you have a lot to offer and to communicate to people. And maybe it's that you're going through psychological transformations as you step into this role of initiating what it is that you want to see in your communities. However this plays out, I really like seeing Jupiter in your 5th house. This is such a fun energy, and it looks to be like Pisces people are just having more fun. And when you're in that state, your connections are aligning to you in a different way. So this could come supernaturally. You're just lit up for more creative self-expression, and that is what is attracting these changes in communities. And this is that magnetization leadership. This is where you don't have to necessarily initiate anything maybe, but the action that you're taking to just be yourself and step out into the world in a new solar, vibrant way in your communities is shifting how people connect with you, how they support you too. The 11th house is allies, people that have similar goals, that support you in life. And when you're feeling more supported, this is an opportunity for that 8th house Libra stuff, where the transformation is going to bring more harmony in connections and an ability to have more capacity for other people in your one-on-one connections. The ruler of your 11th house is where this triple conjunction is Saturn. And that is still finishing the very last month and a half of its transit in your sign Pisces. So you might feel more of this shift come mid-February when Saturn goes into Aries of your 2nd house, and you're going to feel more of that connection to your values spark, and you're going to feel more forward motion and activation. So don't worry if you're not feeling some of the stuff that I'm talking about in this video right away. It is coming, and there is just an initiation or a spark or even just an intention at the time of these new cycles. So enjoy, Pisces, feeling more like yourself, more creatively self-expressive, more seen by the people that really matter to you, and maybe more seen in community too. It looks like you have a lot of support from networks in some capacity. So I would love to hear how this is showing up in your networks and your creative expression. It's so much fun hearing the real life stuff in the comments. So thank you for that. Thank you for hanging out here, checking out this video, supporting with likes and subscribes. It means a lot. Have a wonderful transition into 2026, and I look forward to chatting more astrology with you all along the way. I'll see you next time. Hi, Aries. This is a 4th house full moon for you. So this is all about home and family and nurturing and where you feel safe. How do you connect with the most important people in your life? How were you raised by your original family or the most important people in your young life that made you who you are? There's an opportunity for influencing your family lineage here and creating change that you want to see. So this full moon could be an ending in how your family has operated, or at least as far as you, what you want to create for a sense of family in this world. What do you want home to feel like? Home for an Aries needs to have this nurturing, motherly, intuitive, family-oriented influence in life. It doesn't have to be family as we traditionally have expressed it to be. It can really be anything. Jupiter is co-present here with this moon, and it's creating a lovely internal healing reconfiguration. So something just about yourself and your ability to nurture yourself and feel safe everywhere you go is shifting. The brand new beginning I'm really excited about for you is in your career. It's your visibility, your status, your public image. And this is an area of life where Aries people have had some fluctuations. So this is a moment where you're finding a lot more synergy in your ability to take action and initiate out in the world. Your authority is coming from a place of Venusian yin energy where you're listening to other people and you're receiving input from them as much as you're expressing what's really important to you. You're feeling fired up about career potentially and visibility. You might have new structure that you want to put in place over the next 2 to 3 years. But this will be a big theme for this coming year of 2026. What do you want to create in career? How do you want to be seen by others, and what do you want your reputation and status to be? This can be big changes in your family that affect your status. This triple conjunction brings in the energy of your second house, your fifth house, and your seventh house. So the values that you place in this life and in the world and on yourself. What do you value about yourself? What does self-love look like to you? How does that affect your partnerships? How does that affect your creative self-expression? These 3 topics are shining really brightly right now in the career sector of your chart. This is a wonderful time for Aries to have their creative self-expression seen in the world, to feel like you can just wear your heart on your sleeve and be open in career and have your core pieces of self be something that shines authentically in what otherwise can be a more professional or rigid part of life. Mars is your ruler, so this is extra important for you that you're going through this brand new cycle of self when it comes to career and visibility. And it has this touch of solar and Venusian energy in Capricorn, so you're taking things really seriously, but you're getting the pleasure out of this experience with work or whatever it is. If it's status, it's going to pay off, and you are looking at the big picture. You are looking at which systems you want to bring forward, what is a strong foundation in your life, and what needs to go as far as that inner world stuff that is holding you back in any way. Holding you back from the best career you could create, the best workout in the world you could do, the best leader and authority figure you can be. And this is very likely stepping out of any past dictatorship or whatever other kind of leadership structures might come naturally from the way that we've been raised. And you're stepping into something that is different, that feels more right for you, more authentic, maybe influenced from your partnerships. And as your self-value increases, maybe even actual assets, but your actual perceived value of yourself, you don't have to be forceful out in the world for anyone else to see that. You're stepping into it with ease, and people are responding to that more naturally without you having to actually assert anything. So I think this is, especially for Aries people, the softening component that Venus is offering in this conjunction with your ruler Mars. You already have this gift of initiation and motivation and taking action. In Capricorn, it's going to have a new refined way of timing. When things are appropriate, when you want to hold back, when you want to restrain yourself, how long things need to take, because initiation that happens too quickly, the problem with the Aries archetype is that it can be a really quick shot out of the gate, but it also burns off slowly and doesn't have the stamina. But this new cycle is giving you a new layer of stamina, that Capricorn endurance to really push through whatever it is that you're trying to do here in 2026. The ruler of your 10th house, Saturn, is still in your 12th house. So there is an element where some of this is still brewing under the surface. This is the initiation phase where you are creating intention, you're planting a seed, you have more clarity, but it might not be in its physical manifestation yet. This triple conjunction in your 10th house is a 2 to 3 year cycle. So it could take some time to fully see what's going to emerge. Give it a year and a half. So 2026 is the growth period. You have this new concept, you are initiating a new way of being, and you're going to unfold that over the next 12 months. Yeah. See where it goes. I would love to hear how this is showing up for you, what you have brewing. This is an important time for everyone when it comes to Mars and Venus energy connecting for a new cycle, but Mars is your ruler. So we would love to hear what's going on for Aries people out there. What are you feeling in this new, exciting, new beginning that coincides with a big culminating point in Cancer, potentially an ending in home life, potentially a manifestation that you've been working towards for a really long time? It could go many ways, but thank you for hanging out here and sharing with me in the comments. It really makes a huge difference in the fun that I have here. So thank you, and have a wonderful kickstart to 2026. If you would like a reading for your year ahead or for anything, check out my booking links in the description below. But for now, have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a full moon in your third house. So this is about a transformation, an ending, a culminating point when it comes to your communication. I see this being about how Tauruses use their mind. Is your mind working for you or against you? The bigger part of this full moon story is the opposition in your ninth house of the triple conjunction of the Sun, Mars, and Venus. This is an extremely rare, once-in-a-lifetime configuration that is happening with your perspective on life, the purpose of your beliefs about the world. What is it about the wisdom that you have acquired in this life so far from your personal experiences, from teachers who have come into your life? And these can be in any form. They could be actual teachers, or they could be people that you've met along the way that have helped shape your perception of the world. These are spiritual practices. This could be travel to a foreign place. This could be integrating with foreign people and foreign belief systems in order to build something new for your own perspective. So with a brand new beginning of a triple conjunction in this part of your life, you're taking initiation on your pleasure experience from the world, and Venus is your ruler. So Venus is in this triple conjunction. This is about you and your motivation and your vitality, and it's coming from your wisdom. It's coming from integrating all of these ideas from foreign places and people and teachers and all of this stuff, and having a really important big picture and purpose to your life. The full moon part in your third house is that it's going to be an influence on how you use your mind on a day-to-day way. What media do you take in? How do you talk to people? Are people receiving your communication in a nurturing Cancerian way? Do people feel safe? Do you feel safe to talk to people about your perspective and what's really going on? There could be something that you're releasing right now about your communication that's shifting you more into this Cancerian, motherly, nurturing energy. It could be that you're shifting the way that you were raised to communicate or think about the world or use your brain. Use your mind, use your body. And I say use your body because the mind in the third house operates our systems. It is the functional stuff, though. It's the day-to-day stuff. Jupiter in Cancer retrograde, co-present with this full moon, is expansive healing energy that is internal. So there's something shifting maybe that has to do with your internal ability to nurture and be a mother to yourself and feel safe and experience a sense of connection through communication. Because Cancer rules home and our closest connections, our family. Maybe things are changing with family connection and communication. This is all somehow a perspective, mental part of your life. Venus is your ruler, but it also rules Libra, which is your 6th house. Mars is the ruler of your 12th house, and the Sun is the ruler of your 4th. Again, the Sun in this triple conjunction, being the ruler of your 4th house, brings more of this transformation and new beginning with how you were raised to think about the world versus how you think about the world now. The 12th house component brings in more of your intuitive capacity. You're finding initiation and motivation in rest, in intuition, in spiritual energetic practices. This matches really well with the 9th house in that they're both spiritual houses. The 12th house is more about the energy. The 9th house is more about the experience and the process, the rituals of religion and spiritual practice. Whereas the 12th house is getting lost and immersed in the energy that is not of our physical realm, or that is, it is, but it's more connected and more vast than the physical limits that we have here on Earth. Because this triple conjunction in your 9th house of perspective is in the sign of Capricorn, and that's that rigid construction of the world, you could be breaking through anything that you thought was a solid foundation when it comes to your spiritual practice. And there's something intuitive and energetic, restful, meditative, something bigger that's coming into the picture. And you are initiating this. This is maybe influenced by other people, but this is something that you are taking action on in your life. At the moment of this triple conjunction from January 6th until January 10th, you could feel more agitated, more motivated, more passionate, but you're really jazzed up about something, and that can go in so many different ways. It could be more tempered for some people, this Mars component that I'm talking about with agitation and motivation. We will be seeing the best sides of Mars, which is less agitated and more ready for action and has the momentum and the passion behind it to do that. But because this is a triple conjunction with the Sun and your ruler, there is that much more of an emphasis on how big this energy could feel for you. But do keep in mind that it's about perspective. So you might not feel it in your body. You might just think with your ruler being part of this, it could show up quite viscerally in your nervous system. So be prepared for that. Take more rest if you feel called to. But enjoy liberating your mind. This is a big part of what Taurus has been going through for a long period, 8 years with Uranus in your sign, and it's in its final visit at the 29th degree. So this is the last bit of resistance breaking free of what is more of a cosmic influence for you and not just the earthly experience. This is huge for Tauruses because you are an earth sign, and earth experience is what you're all about. Over the last 8 years, you've probably been realizing that there's a lot more that you are wanting and choosing to work with when it comes to cosmic energy and just energy in general. You're about to go through a completely different version of that when Saturn and Neptune move into your 12th house. It's going to become even stronger for some Tauruses to be leaning on a spiritual process and expanding that connection for yourself to the energetic world and not just the physical one. It does not mean by any means that you're going to be getting rid of or completely losing touch with enjoying the earthly things that you get to enjoy. That will still be there. And if anything, it will be more amplified because this full moon in Cancer is about having a stronger sense of security. And from that place, we can always experience more pleasure in the world. Good news for Tauruses. But I would love to hear how this is showing up in your life. So if you feel called to, it's so much fun chatting with you in the comments. If you would like to book a one-on-one reading with me and hear more about your year ahead or anything in your life, check out my booking link in the description below. But thank you so much for just hanging out here and supporting this video. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is the second house full moon for you. So this is all about your safety in how you feel about your assets, your self-worth, the food that you take in to nourish your body, the way that you enjoy earthly pleasures in this life. A full moon in Cancer in the second house is going to either dissipate and let go of and release a lack of security, or anything that's been getting in the way of feeling more nurtured in this part of your life. What's really exciting is this once in a lifetime triple conjunction with Mars, the Sun, and Venus. Venus is a symbol for worth and value and assets. And this is in a brand new cycle with the 8th house, which is your shared resources with another person. This could be money and assistance coming in from a significant person in your life that really helps you feel more cared for and more safe in what you have to offer the world, or just your financial security in general, which allows for often more of enjoyment in our earthly pleasure things. This could be a moment where you make a big purchase with second house full moon that you've been wanting for a while, maybe working towards for 6 months since the Cancer new moon in June that we had here. And again, this is about loans, taxes, debts, shared resources, support from other people, and intimacy. Psychological transformation is this new beginning that's really fueling the full moon. Or that releasing something that's been limiting your sense of security in your abundance mindset ignites this new beginning in how other people support you, energetically or actually financially. This triple conjunction in your 8th house also brings in energy from your 5th house, your 3rd house, and your 12th house. The 3 planets that rule these houses are what is forming the triple conjunction. With your 12th house and 5th house, this could be about intuitive guidance that helps you feel more creatively expressive, more authentic. This could have to do with your children. This could have to do with your ability to communicate effectively and write and communicate from an authentic place. The resources abundance part could have to do with children if you have children, and there could be some new cycles happening with children that shift your finances. Whether this is more money coming in or more money going out, it's changing your mindset and your frequency around money coming and going in a very beneficial way. Taurus is the archetype of your 12th house, and it is ruled by Venus, which is part of the triple conjunction. So there could be an element of intuition for sure, and using intuitive guidance to navigate the energetic frequency that you vibrate out when it comes to abundance and what you attract into your life. But it also could be something that has dissolved, or something you didn't see about your way of operating with values and money. You could be aligning with energetic values and shifting how you approach life from an energetic lens, and that's becoming a stronger framework within your values system that you work with. And the 11th house, which is ruled by Mars, is about your connections. So you're taking more initiation in communities and networks and groups as well. And this is somehow all pulled into the story of how you gain energy and support from others, how you merge in this 8th house psychologically, energetically, and through shared resources that benefit you. When communities are tied into this, you're likely becoming more aware of communities and networks in your life that are true allies and supports and aligned with what you value, and those that aren't, which are going to be an energetic drain. This triple conjunction in your 8th house of resources, or shared resources rather, is a seeding moment. So you might not see all of the changes, but as you reconfigure the houses and parts of your life that I'm talking about, you're going to see your bonds deepen. You're going to see your energy shift in how much balance and how much receiving you get from other people as well as give. For all people, this Mars-Venus conjunction is about yin and yang energy and what we put out and what we take in, what we take action towards, and what is pleasurable in this life. Especially for Geminis right now, there's a bit more emphasis on that with your communities and your important one-on-one connections and how you merge with those people. Where is the give and take? Is it balanced? Is it aligned with your values? These are all themes that are starting right now, will unfold in a whole cycle over the next 2 or 3 years. And in about a year or a year and a half, you're going to start to see more of the ways that this is affecting your entire life. But for this moment, it is about your second and eighth house axis. It is about being really clear on what you value, being different than the way that you were taught by your family to value things, using your resources differently than the way that you were raised to, especially from the mother's side of the family. You're taking more initiative in the Capricorn 8th house part of your life to follow what has been done more in a fatherly, grandfatherly way that's been represented to you. So this could actually be fathers and grandfathers, but it could be anyone that's had an authority in your life that you've learned from that is helping create this new balance and energetic shift in your merging with others. The psychological transformation part is a big topic in the 8th house, but this triple conjunction feels so energetically positive and combustive to me that there's this joy and passion that's breaking through with the work that you've probably already done in the 8th house, that maybe you've been doing since the new moon in Cancer 6 months ago, or maybe the new moon in Scorpio just a few months ago. But something is really about to emerge that is more of a positive manifestation than how we typically think about psychological transformation and healing. It can sometimes mean going into the depths of more of the dark side of our psyche or the shadow side of our psyche, or some refer to the 8th house as the place that angels fear to tread. If you're feeling any of that stir up around this time, I don't think it's going to be for very long, and I think it's going to be an extremely motivating factor. It's going to create ammunition for everything that's unfolding in Aries, your 11th house, in 2026, when Neptune and Saturn move there to completely reconfigure how you connect with people that support you. You're going to find different types of communities, restructuring of communities. Again, this is a seeding point. This is intentional. This is a moment where you could have a strong intention that you want to align psychologically with people differently. You want to deepen your bonds, even within community, those connections that are sometimes more acquaintances or business connections. They're looser connections, but they're still supportive in our life. You may want more of a deep psychological transformative process in those aspects as well. Whatever it is for you, this is about an 8th house intention with merging with other people, with shared resources. This is about something ending in your 2nd house of your self-worth, or reaching a new level of knowing that you are a wonderful mother. You don't have to be an actual mother, but a Cancer 2nd house is the mothering nature that we all have the capacity for. It's being a nurturer in this world. It's having strong, close connections for you that especially share values and help you grow on your path of what you have to offer this world and your self-worth. Your ruler is also in Capricorn Mercury, so you are probably feeling more strategic and disciplined and just committed to this process that I'm talking about with the triple conjunction in your 8th house. It's great motivational, long-term energy, big picture energy. The 8th house is a wonderful place to add more of a healthy connection to, rather than fear and resistance, which a lot of us can tend to do. And if you would like to chat more about this, because there's so much here, I will leave my booking link in the description below. So check that out. Would love to see you there. It's so much fun meeting you on Zoom calls, chatting with you in the comments below. It really makes this come alive. So thank you. Have a wonderful transition into 2026, and I will see you next time.